I will just start solving this problem by sketching a little graph here. That's the ground level. And the diameter of this London Eye, the Ferris wheel that we are looking at, is 135 meters. That means the radius is half of 135 meters. That's very big. It takes half an hour for it to spin one revolution. And when t equals 0 minutes, that's the point on the ground where people get on the Ferris wheel. And when t equals 15 minutes, that's the highest point of London Eye. We write down the general form of the sinusoids. S of t equals a sine of omega t plus phi plus b. And we know that a is 135 over 2. We simply get a by finding the radius of the Ferris wheel. And b also equals 135 over 2. We find b by finding the distance between the ground level and the center of the Ferris wheel. In this case, since the people can get on the Ferris wheel on the ground level, then b is the same as the radius. We then substitute a and b into the general form of the sinusoid. We get 135 over 2 times sine of omega t plus phi plus 135 over 2. We substitute when t equals 0 in there, that's at the ground level. Then the y value should be 0 at this point. So we have 135 over 2 times sine of phi plus 135 over 2 equals 0. We subtract 135 over 2 on both sides and divide both sides by 135 over 2 to get sine of phi equals negative 1. Then phi equals negative pi over 2. We substitute it back into the equation we have. We get S of t equals 135 over 2 times sine of omega t minus pi over 2 plus 135 over 2. Now we consider the highest point. We still have to solve for omega. When t equals 15, it will be at the highest point of the Ferris wheel, which is 135 meters from the ground. We have 135 over 2 sine of 15 omega minus pi halves plus 135 over 2 equals 135. We multiply both sides of the equation by 2 to get 135 sine of 15 omega minus pi halves plus 135 equals 270. Now we know that 135 plus 135 is 270. Then we have sine of 15 omega minus pi halves equals 1. 15 omega minus pi halves must equal to pi halves. 15 omega equals pi and omega equals pi over 15. Then we substitute it back in to get our answer. S of t equals 135 over 2 sine of pi times t over 15 minus pi halves plus 135 over 2.